Okay, y'all, let's make a video walkthrough for the report essay. Okay, so here's the current incarnation of our assignment sheet. If you just come to the home page, all right, so this is where I'd start, okay? I'd come down, and obviously you'd want to do all the things beforehand and click the assignment sheet, okay? Okay, first things first, I'm going to open a doc. And I'll just get my MLA crap right out the way right now. And then we're going to start looking at this assignment sheet together, right? You do your name, teacher's name, which happens to be me. Classes, this is English 110. Some of my classes are English 101, but this assignment applies to all of y'all. Okay, so, and then the date, and then title it. It's called the report, but come up with something creative. So we'll just say slasher movies. I don't know. Okay, and then you want your last name and the page number. So we type it in. I double clicked at the top. You type it in, boom. Select that, Times New Roman, 12-point font, and the last name and page number come on the right side. Then this all stuff, you want Times New Roman, 12-point font as well. And look at that, we're already halfway done with the frickin' essay. Hit enter and hit tab, okay? You start your paragraphs. Now let's go back. We got the doc ready to roll. I'm gonna rename it. And I'm gonna say Buckley report essay or essay 4, whatever the heck you want to call it. Who cares? Call it Rainbow Unicorn. I don't care. Okay. Read a report on a topic you care deeply about. What do I care deeply about? Oh, slasher movies. Oh, okay, cool. Something that has shaped your perspective, impacted your life, or connects to your values, experiences, or goals. Yeah. This connects to things I like to do in my free time, which is watch people get cut up in these movies, right? That's what I like. You tell me what you like. You like lotions, you like frickin' specialized bath bombs. I don't know, you love to cook crawfish, whatever it is that you really that you know a lot about, whatever it is, a hobby, something like that, something you've done for a long time and you can tell. I want you to educate us, right? Okay. But anything, really anything. But something that kind of taps into who you are. That's the whole point, right? That's the whole point, is to be able to kind of describe who you are in addition to informing us about something we didn't know. Like look at the examples I included, the cloud gazing, like who the heck and the what in the hey. Never even heard of cloud gazing, as a full-time activity, but a student really took that to the professional level here. Okay. What are the goals? Teach your readers something new through clear, well-supported information. Okay. And show us why this topic matters to you in a way that no one else could. Okay. I got that. I got that in spades. Like, right, I could slam you with 1,000 reasons why slasher movies rip and are cool. Okay. So I don't need to choose the thing to write about. I already know. Send a draft to the writing center. I'll do that as soon as I bust this up. Okay. And then I'll submit. So I've already got my MLA format ready to rip. I need 2 to 3 outside sources. So for slasher movies, I'm just gonna go right here. I got a freaking Shutter password, and I'm just gonna get a couple horror movies lined up. And then I can even add something about, oh, I gotta sign in. But I can even add something about um, like an article about, slashers. Men, women, and chainsaws is a, let me get this PDF going. So this is a source I already know about. Okay. It's a huge book about slasher movies. Okay. And I'll combine, Lord have mercy. I thought I already signed in, bro. Okay. So we'll just go movies. I just picked some of my favorites here. See if they got any in. We'll go killers. They used to have a slasher. Um, okay, cool. Intruder's great. We can use like Halloween. We'll use one of these Halloween movies, and then we'll use. I mean, I could use in a violent nature or something like that as well. Basically, any of these would fit the purposes I want. I'll probably just be talking. Honestly, I shouldn't have came to Shutter. I'll just talk about Scream, which is one of my favorites, and we'll just do MLA. We're excited for that because I could already freaking quote it so much. I'm gonna put this right into my movie. And I'm gonna get a quote from Scream. So you go Scream. What's your favorite scary movie? Because this is such a freaking good quote. Boom. Let me just make sure I got the quote right. Voice Randy, sexy. Boom. Okay. What's your favorite scary movie? That's Ghostface. Okay. So I'm going to just put that in there because I know I'm going to use that quote in my essay somewhere, you know, as Ghostface says to our final girl, Sydney. What's your favorite scary movie? Okay. All right. So we've already got a quote and we're going to use Scream. And then another, let's see, what's my, what else do I really like with slashers? We just go with like Halloween. OG Halloween with John Carpenter. John Carpenter, MLA, we're excited. Yeah, so I'm just gonna rip this. Do as I say, not as I do. But so I'll get my works cited going as well. Okay. We've already got Halloween in there. Let's get Scream in there. MLA, we're excited. So you want to make sure that it's got everything in there. With movies, it's easier. I already know what goes into these things, but you really do want to use the All Purdue. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't be clicking this stuff. I'm going to let that load and I'm going to start ripping through this. I'm probably not going to write the entire essay in front of you, but I'll show you how I'll go about it. Okay. So I've already got a quote that I'm going to use and let's go back to the page. Okay. 2 to 3 outside sources. I'm already cooking those up right now, right? Because I'm going to get like some kind of like quote about slasher movies in general by a writer from here. Okay. Then, oh, it's just a preview. Then I'm going to use examples of slasher movies, Halloween 1 and Scream 1, okay? And those will be my 3 sources in my works cited. I'll have a quote from each, right? Quotes from the movies are just lines from the movies, okay? Online video film. Okay, so this is MLA Al Purdue, and we'll go Scream, and it's what we'll just go Wes Craven. Is it Paramount? New Line. I think it's New Line Cinema. While that comes up. Okay. So now I've got all the hard stuff out of the way. Works cited, quotes, all that stuff. The rest I could just come up with off the top of my brain. The fun stuff, writing about the crap I know and like. Oh, great. Sick. Sick. There we go. Panorama. Bro. There it is. Okay. So I'll start off basically wanting to introduce the topic I know best and what it means to me, right? If we go back to the essay, write a report on a topic you care deeply about, something to shape your perspective, impacted your life, connects to your values. Okay, so I'll just start like the first time I saw Scream, I was only in 6th grade. I remember watching this kind of like adolescent. Well, remember watching this like what scary movie that included, you know, adolescent stars of the moment like Rose McGowan and what's that other chick's name? Uh what is her name? Sydney. Uh Nev Campbell. I was blanking. And Nev Campbell. I remember watching this scary movie that included adolescent stars of the moment, like Rose McGowan and Nev Campbell. I didn't know what I was in for, thinking it would be more of a trendy, you know, movie about adult themes or whatever, I don't know, like a freaking, like a Clueless, like a rom-com, teeny bopping type of a thing, right? This is what I'm trying to get at. Little did I know there was a mass killer plucking off these teenagers one by one. The thing I remember most, or I'll say the experience, that something I remember so vividly was the way the villain, Ghostface, a man in a Halloween mask, chased his victims and seemingly always won. At that time, I must have been 11 years old and remember not being okay at night by myself, thinking every time I struggled to open the door was time that the killer would get me. I ended up having nightmares that entire summer. It was brutal. I was super scared of this crap. Um, I ended up having nightmares that entire summer, but later in life, as a teenager, into what, like heavy metal and crap like that, and darker stuff and darker themes, I gravitated back to the things that terrified me as a young boy, as a young as a younger boy. Okay. Boom, there's your intro. Personal significance, baby. Okay. Italicize that title for Scream. And now we've also got like, so it's like, and then so I opened it up with like a personal introduction. I'll probably go from here like slasher movies, and I'll probably define slasher movies are movies in which a masked killer, and then those sometimes unmasked, rarely, stalks misbehaving adolescents in order to kill them. Oftentimes, the kills are done in a creative way, and most slasher movies distinguish themselves from one another based on the way their victims are killed. Pretty cool stuff. But anyway, so I'd probably go on to just like here. So I'm going to probably kind of shortcut this here. From this paragraph, I'd probably go on to further define the qualities of a slasher. Okay. So I'd further define the qualities of a slasher, right? I'd probably go into how all the victims are often teenagers. Okay. How often the people who have sex or do drugs are the ones that are killed. So the misbehaving. And then I'd go through and I'd give examples of these, okay? And I'd give examples of this formula. I'd use Halloween. The first one, italicize that. So I'd have a full paragraph here with Halloween. Then I'd have a full paragraph with Scream. And with Scream, I'd talk about how it's meta and how it reinvented it. And with Halloween, I'd talk about how it's one of the first ones. And kind of the qualities that it exhibits, and then how Scream kind of reimagined that. And yeah, I just kind of keep going with that. Okay. So you see, this is where I'm introducing, this is where I'm defining, and these are the examples I use to prove my points. Okay. And then I'd use a conclusion that kind of wraps it all up. I'd pop this quote in there, and I'd get a quote from the Halloween movie and or that Men, Women, and Chainsaws book. Okay, oh, here it is. Look at that PDF, baby. Okay, I find a sweet little quote here to back up what I'm saying, just like anything, it became obvious at a very early stage that every spectator knew. Yeah, I'd talk about the formula. Okay, absolutely. And I'd talk about the formula of a slasher, which is pretty sweet too, right? It's like kind of like when you watch like a Law and Order episode, it's always gonna have the same formula. You just kind of splice in the different monster of the week, and slashers follow the same thing. It's all program. So, anyways, yeah. So you've got your works cited down here. Make sure to include that. Boom, boom. Works cited, and I'd put in Scream. So we've got that. You got to italicize the title of movies, y'all, and then we'll go Wes Craven. We'll go Craven, comma Wes, period, comma director, period, Scream. It's New Line Cinema, 1996. Sorry, I already know all that crap. Okay, and then we can get this thing, and we'll find a works cited for this by, let's see, copyright Princeton University Press. So we'll just go book, Men, Women, and Chainsaws from Princeton. See what they come up with. I'm going to finish that, and that should be good because you'll know where I'm going to go with the rest of this. Okay. I'm going to talk about how it's those teenagers. I'll talk about Rose McGowan, Nev Campbell. I don't know the other act. Oh, Matthew Lillard. All those people in that movie. And then in Halloween, it's Jamie Lee Curtis and her, deet with Michael Myers in there. Where's my thing? Here it is. Yeah, sweet. Tour books. Yeah, that'll work. Princeton University. Yeah, here we go. And then, yep, continue. And then, yep, you just want to double check that this looks good, complete. And they'll probably, maybe they'll make me watch an ad or something. Yeah, cite the whole book, you stinker. Okay, sweet. And there it is. I'll just copy that, put it right in my essay. Okay, no sweat. We'll copy that, we'll paste that in. Oh my Lord, okay. Boom. And then let's just make sure that we stick true to the MLA format and go 12 times New Roman, bada bing, bada boom, get this over to the left. Okay. And then we need one more thing here. Oh, we need the whole thing times New Roman, 12. Nope. And then we need one more thing, which is the hanging indent. Align and indent, indentation options, special, hanging, a lot of blah, 0.5. Okay. Look at that. Okay. And yeah, once I finish this out with, explaining how Halloween fits these things, okay, and then explaining Scream and how it fits these things, and also at the same time why I love these freaking movies, right? I'd be like, Halloween has this insane soundtrack. It's scary as hell. Michael Myers is terrifying. He's got a big old knife and he's slicing people up. And Scream is just so cool because it's got that like clueless energy, right? That like mid 1990s teeny bopper aesthetic, but also with a great soundtrack, right? But also Ghostface is slicing them up, baby. Love it. And it's also like a mystery too, a who done it. So yeah, I just include that quote, how much I love it, bada bing, bada boom. Okay. And that's it. And then submit and you're done. Oh wait, last thing. Let's get this double spaced, y'all. Tools, format, line and spacing, double. Cool. All right, y'all. Holler if you got any questions.